All right, take two. Action.
Okay. Based on our data we collected in the spring, we had to start planning our 20-day remediation. And we found that our students needed to review objectives that we had taught all the way in the beginning of the year. And so as a way of reviewing those objectives and catching any holes, we decided to split up and each day teach one of the reading or the math objectives. So we had 4 teachers, 2 taught reading and 2 taught math. They would each teach the same objective. One would do a direct instruction, so it would be like an EOG prep, and one would be an interactive instruction. And we did that Monday through Thursday, and you have a copy of basically what we did each day. We had it all planned out. And then on Monday through Thursday, and then on Fridays we did our science and social studies and our testing. We had our students rotate in the classes, and then Amy will give you an example of the direct and indirect.
Okay, so we're going to kind of give you a day in the life of the 4th grader. They're rotating around. 2 teachers are doing reading, 2 teachers are doing math. So we just chose to do the math portion today. So if you came to my room, I did an interactive instruction, and each of you guys got a handout like this. So I would have them come in, and our goal is for interactive is that they don't really have any pencil paper. It's all get up, move around, see how this applies to real life. So I won't really make you guys walk around, but if you're my students, I make you get up and actually go around and find different objects in your room that displayed parallel lines, intersecting lines, and perpendicular lines. So if you want to just look around the room right now, and if someone could give me a parallel line that you see in the room. Go ahead.
The tiles.
The tiles.
The ceiling.
And how are they? The long ones are parallel?
Yes, the long ones. And also the short ones.
The short ones. So I would have them draw it out, and then I would have them label ceiling tiles so they wouldn't forget. So when we came back together, they could share it. There's more parallel lines. Anyone see the others? Go ahead.
The flags, the lines on the flag.
Yep, the red and white lines on the flag work. And then I'd have them move down to intersecting lines. So does anyone see any intersecting lines?
There on the wall.
Right there on the wall? Mm-hmm. There's intersecting.
Legs on the table.
And where else?
Thinking the legs on the table.
The legs on the table. And then I might ask them something like, how do parallel lines and intersecting lines, do they have anything related? You know, like we saw parallel lines and intersecting lines, both in the ceiling, not much there. You could say the table is parallel to the floor. You could see how they related to each other. And then perpendicular lines. That again, we have intersecting and perpendicular lines on the wall. Anybody else see another one? The border. Yeah, some kids will point out the bricks on the wall. They meet all 3. Anyway, it's really fun because kids are like, oh, I got that one, or oh, mine hasn't been picked yet, and they get really creative, and they do a really good job. And we give them probably, how long are they in each room? What did you say? 45 minutes to an hour. So this is a great chance for them to show what they know, also kind of get information from other kids. And we all know that a lot of kids, or not all kids, learn from just direct instruction, so it's really great that we try to, cover both ends. So, because if they get taught direct instructions, the same thing, they might come away saying, I didn't learn anything, but then they'll come to my room and it all clicks for them, so it's really great to see. So that's the interactive part.
Okay, and so along with, if you look back at that math plan that you had for each day, we have it planned out, the objectives, where there is a direct and an indirect. And what we used for our remediation, and we'll use this year, is the coach books. They're set up a lot like the EOG. So along with each interactive objective, we've matched it with the coach book lesson. So on the same day that Erin would be teaching her interactive lesson, I would be doing, if you'll turn in your coach books to lesson 18, it's on page 109. And at our school, each child has a coach book. We can't make copies of these, or else I would have made a copy of each of the lessons for you, but we can't. So each child has their own coach book, and so what they do, they would come to my room, and they would either come to my room first, or they might have already had the interactive. So depending on whether they've, look, I'm not very good at this either, had the interactive or not, would be kind of how I approach the lesson. If they have not had the interactive, I will go through and do what we all know is direct instruction. And I will read through it, and we'll talk about it, what it is. If they've already had the interactive, and I know that, then I might let them participate a little bit more in sharing with me and let them help teach. But either way, we still do the coach book. So the first page, the way the coach book is set up is it's just the actual lesson. And then what we do is we go through and we think it through together. We would do the shapes together. Which of these shapes have perpendicular lines? Which of these shapes have parallel lines? And it just provides an opportunity for your students who do learn auditorily and who do learn by writing things. This provides the opportunity for them to learn. Because although a lot of kids do learn hands-on, some don't. Some need to hear it. And so we figured that by teaching it both ways, for every single skill, we're giving all the kids an opportunity to learn no matter what their learning style is. And then we do this, each lesson for the coach book has a test practice. We do this part together to make sure that they understand it. Like I might give them a minute or two to do each problem and then we go over it. And then behind that is another test practice that they do on their own. We take up and we score so that we can see how each child is doing at reading the questions and doing the multiple choice answers. And this just provides an opportunity for them to go ahead and get their brains before the EOGs into that multiple choice mindset that they're going to have to do during the EOGs. And we found that it really helped last year. We had a lot of success on the EOGs with our 4th grade. And the way that we have the plan set up, we were able to cover every math objective and every reading objective in 4 weeks. It's a day per objective, and there's a couple days that you have to double up. But that way you're reviewing the entire year right before the EOGs.
Any questions?